We all want to wake up earlier, make more money, be ultimately productive, and crush our goals. But we're all human and we all have a baseline. If you've been unproductive and not living your ideal life for long enough, changing will be more difficult than simply setting a New Year's resolution. You may consider what's often referred to as micro habits. Micro habits are just tiny steps taken in the direction of what you want to become a habit. For example, if your goal is to wake up daily at 5 a.m., but you normally wake up at 8, you may start aiming for 7 a.m. while also going to bed earlier. While 7 a.m. does not put you at the 5 a.m. goal, because 3 hours is a bit dramatic, to be honest, it does still inch you closer towards that goal. 1 hour, 30 minutes, even 15 minutes earlier every day is a lot more doable than suddenly waking up 3 hours earlier. So, what are the micro habits I've taken that actually equate to life change? Waking up 30 minutes earlier than I normally would. Granted, over time you can do this and go from, as I mentioned, an 8 a.m.er to a 5 a.m.er. But when you wake up early, you don't just want to focus on productivity and getting things done. Focus on appreciating the ability to move more leisurely because you have the time. Focus on enjoying the process of waking up and getting ready. This is a form of a reward. Move a little more slowly through your praise and worship or whatever your morning routine is. For me, being able to get dressed and pull myself together in the morning without feeling rushed has been impactful in reducing my anxiety, which in turn helps me to have a smoother morning and, as a result, more peaceful and relaxed days. Now again, this is a micro habit and there's absolutely room to increase that time that you aim for, and it's easier to do so when you do it over time. Number 2, do a load of laundry every day. I have mentioned this in another video, but I am repeating it because it really is a game changer. Doing a load of laundry every single day keeps the basket from overflowing. It prevents you from getting overwhelmed, but it also causes you to do things differently if you start doing your laundry every day. It somehow becomes easier and more habitual for you to begin to adopt other micro habits, especially for cleaning. For example, dishes, making your bed, daily tidying, they all seem like smaller tasks. This is just a mind trick that I can't quite explain, so you'll just have to trust me and take my word for it. In my family, it takes about 2 days for laundry to just become unbearable. I started doing a load of laundry every single day in no particular color just to help to manage it. And over time, I really began to appreciate just how easy it is to manage one load per day. This is, of course, compared to managing multiple loads 2 to 3 times each week. Now, of course, this has helped me to keep my house more put together because it's just easier to put away one load after completing it than to put away 3, 4, or even 5. Number 3, make time for a walk every single day, even if it's only 5 minutes. If the idea of beginning an exercise regimen is too much for you or it's overwhelming, easing into it with walking is perfect. Oftentimes, we want to flip a switch and become the greatest version of ourselves in an instant. Instead of just accepting and realizing that in order to create lasting habits that help us to change, we must begin by creating a small change and sticking to it. It's so much easier to commit to walking for 5 minutes each day and increasing that over time, then transitioning that to a different, more intense physical activity than it is to wake up one day and suddenly want to start a high-intensity workout for the very first time. Beginning with something as simple as walking increases your likelihood of being consistent with physical fitness, and it also improves your chances of improving your physical health. Number 4, use a notebook to keep track of your thoughts. If you're anything like me, your brain never wants to stop thinking of new things to do, especially things that you just don't have the time for. And it's true, we often don't have the time to do those things at that moment, but maybe it's a great idea for something that we can do later. We often lose valuable thoughts and ideas by thinking, I'll do this later. And to your credit, maybe you will do it later, but you can't if you can't even remember what it was that you intended to do in the first place. Writing down your thoughts and keeping track of them in a notebook forces you to get it out of your head. And I'll also add, although this is not part of the benefit of using it as a micro habit, it creates so much mental clarity and peace. We just have so many thoughts dancing around our heads throughout the day, and taking the time to pull some of them out and store them on paper can really put your mind at ease. Now, the reason this is a micro habit that I feel enforces life change is because it doesn't allow you to lose those gems. Some of our thoughts are creative ideas that can help others and ourselves. Some of them are just things we need to do. But in utilizing this method, we don't lose track of any of it. How many times have you not done something simply because you forgot? How many ideas, plans, and escaped items on your to-do list do you miss simply because you did not write them down? It takes very little effort to do this, but it is effective. Get yourself a notebook and write things down. Now, the second part of this is to reserve 5 to 10 minutes at the end of your day to revisit your list. This is obviously more intentional than just writing out whatever pops into your head throughout the day. You are now taking the time to review those thoughts that you had and taking action to prioritize them, to organize them, to make them make sense. Some things are for tomorrow. Some things are for right now. And some things are tasks that may just need to be completed over time. But we don't want to collect thoughts that go unreviewed. Using that time at the end of the day to put those thoughts together can ensure that nothing gets missed and that your life stays almost effortlessly organized. Number 5, don't put off things that take less than 5 minutes now. If it'll take less than 5 minutes to complete it, do it right now. Unless it doesn't make sense, in which case we utilize our list from number 4 and we write it down. Let's say you need to call your cousin for her birthday, but you think of that at 4 a.m. You can write that down for later. If you take a look at the dishes in the sink and it's just a few of them, wash them now. Think about it. It's something you'll have to do eventually anyway, and you may as well do it now while it's not that much. If you need to sweep, vacuum, mop, just do it right now. Those things don't take very long. Even if you end up doing 6 5-minute tasks, you'll still only lose 30 minutes. And if you complete 6 tasks in 30 minutes, you're off to a great start. Now, this micro habit is just there so that you can train yourself to seek out things that can be done quickly and easily, so that there's more space in your life to complete more daunting and time-consuming tasks. When we focus on changing who we are, how we operate, and the way that we live, it's very important for us to think small and to focus on changing smaller things and doing those things consistently. Who we are and how we function is a product of the small decisions that we make. So if you can train yourself to be a person who is made of very good practices, specifically micro habits, you'll be able to change your life.